Hi, and welcome to Good News Friday. Mike Simon is here. I'm Joey Yarber, and welcome to our program. We are so glad to have you here. Mike, we're excited about what we're hearing from the communities, and we just feel an obligation to share this with everyone about the exciting news, the good news that's going on, and collaboration. People are working together. They're working together as a community. They're working together in an agency with a client that they're counseling with, and they're taken from the place of crisis to self-sustainability transformation. And I know that this is something that's very personal. You've been talking to me about this for years, bro.
Well, it's something that I think communities are ready for. I don't think they had these capabilities because the technology and the breakthroughs in technology and the breakthroughs in collaboration have only come about in probably the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And with that, it's more like an emerging platform in which people can get on and realize, that simply say it. I didn't know we could do this before, but now we can.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting about it, is that now it's possible.
Well, the process and everything. And I was talking with a lady in Connecticut just this last week, and we were talking about a case client management system that is not just focusing in on tracking tragedy. That's not what she was doing, not her goals at all. She wants to transform and work from a perspective of that current status on a client, because by gauging that, by seeing where a client currently is, then she knows where she needs to go as the agency that's working from that counseling perspective with that next step and that next goal. And it was very exciting because we were sharing with her what we're able to do in assessments and being able to focus in on that current status in that client. Man, she was excited. It was exciting sharing that with her and the capability, because she was all about it. And that's what we are doing here. We're not just tracking tragedy. We are focused on transformation and tracking that progress, and some really exciting stuff that you've been sharing for several years now. Mike, I know you've got some slides that you have put together that you shared since I've known you.
Yeah.
About that, and it's really informative.
Can you hear the lawnmower out here?
It's grass cutting season, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna shut my window here, so
Okay.
I'll show you the slide.
Okay, awesome, very good. Yeah, so this is something that we've been working on here at Simon Solutions for several years, as we've just been trying to figure out a way to focus in on not just where a client currently is and being able to track the data associated, but also as to where a client could, should, and wants to go. And this is what's so exciting about what we were doing with the assessments feature, Mike.
Yeah. Well, let me show you what we're learning, and
Okay.
I'm gonna share this slide with you. Let me know if you see it or not.
Okay, yeah.
Can
There
see
you
it?
are, right there. Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's interesting is this is what we've been learning about, because it's helping us to develop technology to try to accommodate the needs. And you know that you've often heard people say, you give a hungry person a fish, you'll feed them for a day,
That's right.
and if you teach them to fish, you'll feed them for a lifetime.
Right.
Well, that's only half the equation, Joey, and that's what we're finding out. Because if you're going to take people from a place of crisis all the way to sustainability, and then into a place of thriving, a lot of time that's what human development does. And you got to think in terms of who's doing all this human development. That's a lot of your helping agencies that's in your community.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they're limited in their scope and how many people they can help. And the problem is it's just gets them to a point of just getting by. And that's not the goal of a transformation roadmap.
Yeah.
The goal of that is to take a person who can cross the threshold into an opportunity to get ahead.
That's right.
From getting by to getting ahead. But a lot of times, those agencies that work in human development are not doing the things that are happening in community development. So if you look across the scale here, you see that when you get to the point where you help people get ahead, you got to equip a person to make sure they've got everything they need personally to move forward. And then also you got to provide them with fair access to the pond, and a lot of times, even people who try hard and hard and hard to, make ends meet, but
That's right.
still can't do it, a lot of times because they can't find a job that pays a living wage.
Amen.
And so you see the little man here, he's trying
Yeah.
to go across from human development, community development. A lot of times people in that position who are trying to navigate across that threshold, they fall into what's called the benefit cliff or the
Yeah.
cliff effect.
Mhm.
That's a person who's maybe working and they get a slight increase in wages. However, their public assistance drops off. And as a result of that, they end up really in a net loss of worse shape than they were than if they were just stay at home and get their check. And so that's the point that, people are trying to figure out how to, because people are saying, why do I want to go to work 2 jobs, still
Exactly.
can't feed my family when I can go back and apply for welfare and public assistance and all that and get probably the same, if not a little more, in public assistance. So it takes away the motivation to want
Yeah.
to break the poverty cycle in their
That's
life.
right.
And so something's got to be done to do that. Now, this is the point where I really we've found out what's happening now is that there's partnerships now. And this is where the good stuff happens. There's partnerships between human and community development. So on the left side here, you see that from the crisis to vulnerable, stable, to getting by stuff, the helping agencies are now starting to work together more efficiently and effectively. And our system helps provide them that referral system, keeps people
Right.
from falling through the cracks. And now they can share knowledge and best practices. And now they're reducing duplication, increasing accountability. Now they are prepared to move forward more to advance a more comprehensive approach to transforming people's lives. Now, if you ask your community development folks to get involved in this, if those who are involved in this in social and economic well-being, and this may be government, it may be institutions, it may be workforce development, they get involved, in building safe, vibrant, and healthy neighborhoods,
Right. Right.
and then people work to try to convince the business in the areas, why don't you help us create, really living wage jobs? And we are hearing that there are communities where this is actually happening. And then we're seeing where people are developing a more reliable and well-trained workforce, and it's working together with human development. We see that happen out in California, now in
Yeah.
Louisiana. Those are exciting
Yeah.
stories that are developing. And now we're starting to see an increase in civic engagement and cooperation. Now your whole community is getting involved in this, and like in Huntsville, where the
Yeah.
businesses
Yeah.
are getting involved. But it's just really, really exciting to see these partnerships. And when these partnerships really come together and mature, they'll put you to the point where you can now strive for large scale collective community impact.
Yeah.
That's when you're able to move the needle on poverty and hunger and health disparities and more. Because now your community is creating a comprehensive, coordinated care that really, really works. And that's pretty exciting, Joey. And I thought that was good to give me an opportunity to share that with you.
Hey, Mike, this is so exciting because now we're not just focused in on tracking the data that's associated with crisis. That's easy to do. But we're working with our partner agencies to set up features like outcomes, assessments. Now we're focusing in on that transformation process. What does that look like? Next step, let's track the current status of a client. Let's get them out of this place of crisis and get them to where they want to be and give them hope for tomorrow and for their family and where they could be as a family. And these are the stories, these are the testimonials that we're getting back, and it is exciting for all of us here at Simon Solutions to see the tools that's being created, these resource tools being able to be utilized in this transformation process. And ultimately, that is our prayer here, to be allowed to serve and work from this. As the old expression goes, it takes a village, it takes a community, and being able to work proactively with each other and engage each other. That's what Charity Tracker and Oasis Insights do.